Hi there, I'm Loïc, the host of this podcast. Les frappés is a French word that refers to people doing wild things in sports, business, and life. In this episode, I'm interviewing longtime friends Petra and Thomas, parents of Leo and Raph, twins who were born at just 26 weeks and were soon after diagnosed with cerebral palsy, a group of movement disorders caused by damage to the developing brain. Parenting can be tough at times. Petra and Thomas had to learn to become parents while being under heavy stress on a daily basis because their children had to be put on oxygen to stay alive. Because all of a sudden they were on a non-stop mission to answer Raph and Leo's special needs. Because their relationship suffered from the many sleepless nights that they regularly had to spend in emergency rooms. This is the story of Petra and Thomas, ordinary people who became extraordinary parents. To me, and I'm sure for many others who will discover them in this episode, they are unsung heroes, living examples of what resilience and love can accomplish. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation, but be ready to be as much inspired as you'll be moved. Ready, set, go. So Thomas and Petra, last time we really glad to have you again. Last time we had a very long conversation about, I guess, your life or you guys met, your super high standards, jobs in a very special environment, which is like a world class casino. We talked about the pregnancy, and I guess I don't know if it's the right term in English, but a sort of unexpected turn of events with the pregnancy
Yeah,
that
that's
led,
correct.
to Raph and Leo being born prematurely at 26, 28. I never remember.
26.
6,
26.
so 26 weeks, which is for those of you who are as good as me with math. 26 weeks is 6 months and a half, so that's really early. And we also discussed the diagnose. I mean, the fact that later on Leo and Ralph were diagnosed with is it severe brain
Cerebral,
damage or
Cerebral palsy.
cerebral palsy.
cerebral palsy? Okay,
Mhm.
which of course led to uh, I mean, sort of special challenges with how they are able to develop and grow and enjoy their early years in life, I guess. So for anyone who's jumping on the episode right now, if you want to listen to that part, it's about 2 hours if I remember well. You have the link in the description, and because we're going to do some spoiling here if you don't listen to that, so go listen to that one first and then come back here. And this episode is going to be focused on the now, actually. It's 7 years later. You guys, I mean, you moved back. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil people, but you triggered some big changes a few years ago. I guess now you have some sort of routine, or at least you have 7 years of experiences on how to be parents with kids who have different needs. So yeah, I'm super curious. I have a lot of questions. But I guess first of all, a very simple one is how are you doing today? Like in those days, 2024.
The best.
Yeah, it's the best period so far.
Yeah, we never been so happy in all aspects. So glad we made the decision. We got a good routine you mentioned, but sport is a big part of it. If we don't have our what you're doing 12 hours a week now, maybe I'm
What?
doing I'm doing
Seriously?
Yeah,
yeah I'm doing 14 to 16, and now it's gonna increase a bit more. But yeah, it's definitely a need a need to be pushing and feeling like you wanna pass out at the gym. So
it's very intensive now.
yeah,
Actually, took a challenge because Thomas got a friend and they're doing workout together, and it was crazy intensive. I mean, they're doing 17 different sets a day. It's
Seriously? I had
really,
no idea.
no, it's very intense. If you see how he looks now, it's very different. So I took a challenge and I joined them for January, and it's
yeah,
intense.
yeah. It's good.
It's good though. I'm loving
It's
it.
it's good. The kids are
The best.
They're the best. They're interacting. They're at this age where they're very sweet. I don't think all kids are sweet like this, but they're getting to the point where they understand stuff. You can talk to them. It's not just they're crying and you don't know why. And
Yeah, you can
it's
reason with
pleasant.
them.
It's pleasant with them. It's really nice. They're so funny. They're so happy. You cannot be around them and be miserable. So that's really really good.
Yeah, and
Wow.
they're super cuddly.
Yeah, that helps.
Well, I can tell you as a friend, I am so happy for you to hear that because I know that the road was bumpy to get there. That's the least we can say, I guess. But yeah, so fantastic to hear that. Uh, I wasn't expecting that as to be the second first question, but how do you guys manage? Because I had no idea you were doing so much sports during the week. I mean, I knew you were like exercising, but I thought it's like maybe a few hours, like 3 4 hours
Well,
a week.
we when we came back, we made the decision that we were gonna be our own boss to control our lives and not we work around the work. We live around the work. No, work is around our lives. So we drop the kids at school, we go to the gym, and then the day starts. We're working.
Also, it helps that it's not no season yet. So our season starts in April. So I guess the routine will change in April. For now, we enjoying, you know.
Okay. And so, what is it you're doing now, business wise?
We
We bought a company last year, and basically we're doing gifts for seminars and for weddings. It's mainly so it's based on tourist industry, and or if someone comes to Provence and they want to give a basket, a gift for wedding, they
a coffre,
a
a
coffee,
bag, a
yeah,
anything.
hamper. We're making a luxury gifts for guests.
So
Nice.
we've got a range of homemade artisanal product, and then we've got a range of wine and other
from
goods
suppliers
from suppliers.
from suppliers. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very seasonal.
It's
That's
Okay.
seasonal. Basically, the season is April till October.
yeah,
April to October. Okay. Wow. So you guys are entrepreneurs now.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and hopefully soon I can start something as well.
yeah.
Or
We've got projects
yeah,
coming up.
yeah,
It's always
yeah,
good to have
yeah,
projects.
yeah. We'll keep you up to date when it's happening. Don't worry.
Nice. Excellent. So we mentioned the bumpy road to get where you are now. And of course, I don't remember like every occurrence when it got tough for you guys. But I remember, I mean, from all those years we've been friends, especially Thomas, when you were sharing like difficult times. When I reflect back, I'm just like amazed at how you guys manage to keep it up together, especially as a couple. Because I mean, I'm a father now since 2 years, and it's tough sometimes, right?
Stuff.
But I only have one kid. She was not premature. She was not on oxygen for like weeks in order to survive. She doesn't need like special care, physio or whatever. She just needs me and my wife, and it's already sometimes tough. So, I mean, for me, for the couple, for in general, parenting is beautiful, but it's also tough. So how did you guys manage to stay such a strong, beautiful couple over those years?
Oh wow, that was.
I
Yeah,
guess that's a big question.
it is a big question because I don't know how much I want to share. We would like to share, but definitely. I mean, like any kids are changing dynamics of the relationship. I read somewhere the couples, the childless couples, actually last longer because kids are often you you you,
Well,
you
you're
never.
not a couple anymore. You're a family. So the
Yeah,
whole the whole
Yeah.
dynamic is changed, and
And I don't know. I mean,
We were not happy for a very long
oh
time.
Jesus, no. I mean, yes,
We
that was
didn't. I mean, to be happy, you have to live. We didn't really live. We survived. So that was one problem.
one of the. It was actually really really bad. But um, the kids were priority. Like honestly, if if we were childless and the relationship was so bad as it was with children, we would never make it. The only reason why we made it was because we were so occupied with kids that you didn't have time to solve the relationship. Basically, kids were priority, and you were focusing on everything what needs to be done around them. But we knew it's not good between us,
But
right?
it's a bit of a vicious circle because if the kids were not there, I don't think I think it
It
wouldn't be
wouldn't
that.
be.
It
It
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be. Yeah,
bad. So it's
yeah.
yeah, the change of dynamics and uh, sharing and talking and self improvement.
Oh my,
That's
no,
what
the
saved us.
self
That's it.
improvement. Do you know very very big change happened around when they were about 2 or 3 when we started with the gentle parenting. That changed dynamic between us as well because basically we came to the point where kids were, both of us are coming from families where punishment was normal sort of um, raising up kids, right? So obviously you're doing what you see at home. Now um, it was not working. It was not working at all. You could and I don't want to say beat because we were not beating the kids. Were not really beating 3 years old, but you know, slapping did not solve anything. Shouting did not solve anything. Basically, there was no way of, I was just really getting angry, and I didn't like myself shouting. And then I downloaded TikTok, and basically somehow I found some videos about gentle parenting, and it just clicked. And I'm saying, you see, I think it's going to work. And basically, yeah, I'm not saying we're doing gentle parenting like 100% because some of it is very,
No, it's personalized to
yeah,
our kids. It's
yeah,
personalized to our family. Some of it we take, some of it we don't. But
yeah. It's we're not permissive. Like I'm taking it as we're going to explain to you, and I'm definitely there's definitely no there's definitely no beating and not even shouting. What happened? That made me laugh. um we were at they're so not used to us shouting at them. Like Thomas shouted at Raphael for something, like during the lunch, unexpectedly, and he just screamed to make a point, right? And Raphael was so not used to it, he actually burst out laughing, and the soup went everywhere. So just like you can see, like our reaction when if my parents did that, I would be scared. And he found it hilarious because basically it never happened. So then he
Nice
started.
try, Thomas. Nice try.
Like what was that? So talking normally. um we were under a lot of stress because of not sleeping, because of everything what was happening, or you snapping at each other. So with gentle parenting, it started to reflect on us as well. We started to more talking than snapping and being unpleasant, and and we went through big change there. You had to change. You know how hard it is when child is upsetting you and you need to be calm. Like you need to change first, and then you educate your child how you suppose how you want them to be, right? So
just basically it was three main points. Number one, we changed relationship with the kids and how gentle parenting changed us. Then we decided we've had enough of UK. We're not happy. We're moving. And then when we here, we realize, well, we still need to do one last thing because just moving doesn't help. We actually need to change and decide we're gonna be happy now. Like enough with the like depressing and the stress and the just angry all the time for no reason. We just made it. Let's be happy, and that just clicked, and I think that was it.
It's very vague, but okay.
Yeah, it's very, it's,
Yeah, I was about to ask, how do you make that change? Because I mean,
Well,
can you really decide let's be happy now, or
yeah, you
for
can.
me, yeah, it was.
Yeah, because basically it was, I told Thomas, if
Also, we're sharing now.
we share it.
Okay, then.
I, I told Thomas, if our relationship is not going to improve in France, we finished. We can't anymore. And basically, there was one situation, and where I realized I'm really not happy, and and he could see it. There was a situation, I'm not going to go into it. There was a situation where I froze in time, and I realized I can't anymore. I don't want to. I'm done. I'm done because I'm really not happy in this marriage, in this relationship, with the way how Thomas was, you know. And then, and it was really
And
surreal
it
situation.
hit me at the same time.
At the same
Like,
time,
I saw and I felt my way. I felt the same way she did, but I also felt her way. Like, it was just one of those things where you kind of, you don't talk, but you read each other's mind, and it was just like, okay, like, now is the time where you change, you be happy, you good to your wife and your kids, you've got everything to be happy, just stop being miserable.
Thomas was not on a good place. Basically, I feel like, I had my breakdown point, and which I didn't mention last time. I had my breakdown, and where I had time to process what is happening. Because one thing is to you living it, but you're not really actually processing and realizing. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like Thomas was in denial, and he was just keeping everything inside for a very long time, and it was affecting everything. First, he was not happy. He was with UK. He was not happy in the relationship as well. Do you know what I mean? It didn't mean he didn't love me, but the situation was so difficult that it was just impossible. And it was affecting his way of thinking. He was very negative, and often he was snapping at kids, and basically the uglier he was behaving to kids, the more aggressive I was becoming to him. And it was just one vicious circle. And basically, that, I call it the revelation. It was the most surreal thing. Basically, I just really, like, I knew that was my last point. I am done. And then I took him out, and I said, I'm done. And he said, you don't need to tell. I know everything. And then he said, I'm going to change. How many times you hear that. And basically, but one point about Thomas, what I really appreciate, I went through quite few serious relationship, and if I can compare what no one ever did, Thomas does, is, he's really trying. Like, when you tell him something, he really tries, and you can feel it. It's genuine. You don't know how long it takes. Maybe it's going to go back, but there is always, you feel it's really trying. So I felt it's going to be okay. It's going to last, few months, couple of months. um but he was, from the next day, it was like, how can you change mind of someone who is really negative? If like someone, he always see glass half empty. And the next day he woke up, and he was person, he was completely different. It was like, yeah, he appreciates it. I mean, it started slowly, it's and yeah, the relationship with kids, like, he didn't know how to show love, because he was never in that. He didn't grow up in that environment. It wasn't for him something spontaneous to hug and kiss. Like, he literally learned it. Like, you could see the effort at the beginning, and now it's completely fine. And actually, you can see it on kids, how kids change relationship to Thomas. It's crazy.
That was the reward, basically. You just, kids are always mama, 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 cuddle, 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 mama, kiss, mama. And you show them, it was like, not even few days, I'm not gonna say day one, but straight away,
It was more. There was a
You
progress.
you show them love, and straight away the way they respond, that was just the best feeling in the world.
Like he never
And then
had
you
it
feel
in.
dumb. You're like, why was I so well? I know why, but why did I not come out of that anger and depression?
So
Wow.
yeah, big, 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 big changes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was hard work behind us, but it's so much better.
I'm
The
still I'm
relationship,
still French. I still have my little burst of anger sometimes, but it's not.
it's nothing in
No,
comparison.
no, and it's
It's
not. It's not with kids. It's not in a couple. It's just bad drivers in France. That's
general
that's a
Yeah.
good one.
general
I
situation.
mean, you have something with drivers because I remember every single time we were chatting when you were in the UK. If you were on the commute back from work,
Let's not go.
every single time
Let's not go there. Let's not
there
go
was
there.
something for a driver.
Next question. Next
Road
question.
rage.
Wow, that's
But
profound, huh? Not sharing, but sharing quite
yeah,
some deep stuff, huh?
she decided, huh?
Well, no, because it was so, it doesn't sound genuine. Like it was like when you're reading some yoga general, like people are listening. What is he talking about? Like, no, you want to do interview, you share. I've got another one which I think it's how I had my own breakdown when you realize um
You're mourning the life you're never gonna have.
okay, that's not what I wanted to say, but that's true as well. Yeah. that is true.
For me, I've got this friend of ours. He has a son with Tourette, and he's
Autistic.
is autistic as well.
He's like 17, 18 now, the
Yeah,
son.
and his daughter was murdered on her 18th birthday. So he's
It
lived a
was really bad
pretty
story.
dramatic life, and so we've always been closer to him because of the trauma. And one thing he told us, and I didn't accept it for a long time, he said, basically, you need to deal with it because you have lost a life you're never gonna have. Like the life of going for your first bike ride with your kid when they're 3 or 4, or skiing, or like all the stuff, like the first step, like it just happened. All of that, it's gone. You're never gonna have it. So you have to mourn that part of your life, and you have to come to, how do you say, like,
You accept it.
yeah, accept it.
This is the most difficult. Having kids with disability, this is the most difficult part, which the acceptance, because it's very difficult to. So you knew, we told you about how we found out, and then I said straight away when we were told, no, I don't accept it. I hear you, but I didn't have kids to be on a wheelchair, right? And then so you dealing straight away. We started with looking for physiotherapy, and then you're going through the physiotherapy, and basically all this time I'm having, no, I know it's just a muscle, and we can everyone will tell you they will catch up, right? Or you hoping you're doing so much physiotherapy, they will catch up one time, they're going to walk. And they were saying, yeah, by the age of 3, by the age of 4, and it extended, and I got to the point when they were about 3.5 years old. And with intense physiotherapy and everything what we were doing, they were just not catching up. And there was one situation, when I was coming back home from physiotherapy in England, um, and they were horrible. They were horrible in the car. They were crying. They were often horrible, actually. They were not nice nice behaving kids when they were small. And I think, was Madeira when they were, I think
Yeah.
when they were about 4, coming 3.5, coming to 4. And I talked to, when we were at the physiotherapy, I was talking to the physiotherapist, and I'm saying, listen, what is your projection on, honestly, what do you think, what we into with them, how they going to be? And he said, well, I think Rafael is going to be fine. Rafael is going to, walk, he will be fine. But Leo, um he's going to have a support. He will not walk without the support, whether it will be a walker, whether it will be cane. um he's not going to walk like us. And this was first time for me when I had to accept that, because
and process it.
yes, I was in denial, the whole, not denial, like,
No, it's just to shut off. If
no, like, we pushing, it was so intensive, going 4 times to Slovakia for 3 weeks. And it's just, you put your whole life on hold for years. And I say, well, surely, if you're doing it long enough, it's going to be improvement, they're going to walk, right? It's logical, isn't it? And you're doing it, and the results are there, but it's like so small. The progress is there, but it's so small. So it's going to be very long time. And basically, I was coming from the physio, and they were horrible in the car, and I there was this when I lost it. I lost it completely when I started to scream in the car. I stopped in the car and just shut up, just shut up. I was screaming at them, just be quiet, like I could not handle anymore. That was when he told me this, the what he thought. And I knew I have to go. I have to go holiday. I have to go. I cannot stay in the house. It was difficult with Thomas. It was difficult with kids, and I knew I'm going to go cuckoo. I'm going to go crazy. I have to go. When you know you cannot anymore. So that's what happened. Thomas came home, and I'm saying, listen, I'm going to go to our manager. I'm going to talk to her, and I need emergency holiday. I cannot stay in the house with you. I cannot. I'm done. Um, and I went, and it was amazing. Again, the support of the manager is incredible. And I just sat down, and I'm saying, listen, I have to. I need emergency holiday. And she looked at me, and she started crying and said, "You've got it." I said, "You don't
Wow.
need you don't need to know why." And she said, "If you want to share, you share, but I'm tell me how long you want, and you've got it. You know it's going to be. I think they did it paid as well."
yeah,
So I went to Madeira for 5 days by myself, and basically this was one of the toughest period in my whole life. I swear, where it was during the COVID. I was receiving some kind of I was calling with psychiatrics, some
yeah,
some psychologist psychiatric phone call, and basically, I had like about 6 sessions talking about, and it was like you're talking about the past, and it did help you open up a little bit. But what is really missing on the market is psychologists for parents with disabled kids. Like, basically, the most difficult part about it is, like, you don't have support from anyone. Like, I turn to I've got good, family background, and I've got very good friends, which they are for like 20, 30 years. I've got, long relationship friends, but no one's got experience. I'm saying, how am I supposed to accept that my I've got the handicapped child? What am I like, the pressure I felt in my head. I knew I'm going to go crazy. Not like literally crazy. We've got the schizophrenia in the family. And basically, my grandma and also my uncle, they proper schizophrenic, and they turned when they were 30. Basically, when you've got a lot of stress, and you don't know how to deal with the stress, the sickness comes. And I felt it first time in my life, that the pressure in my head, I don't know how to deal with it. So I had to go, and basically what helped me So there was no sessions, there was no people to talk to. I didn't know what to do, where to turn. And what helped me were books. So I said, well, okay, let me read about someone, let me read about something similar, right? So I found one book. I found two books which really helped me, and that first one was um, about this. It's a true story about a young teenager. Well, I think he was 15 or maximum 18. He was a rugby player at school, coming from sporty family, and he went to Portugal with his friends. He dived, not even from, and basically he came out quadriplegic. Um, and it's very, very, very good book. It was very emotional. Um, but the part which helped me from the whole book was, you need to accept it. So that was my, he said a lot of people are just living through the life, but they're not actually accepting the situation what happens now. um I said, okay, so this is the lesson from this book for me. I need to accept. But how you're going to accept and live with that? I don't want to accept it. How are you going to accept something which is, I felt it like against my whole existence. Like, it's impossible for me to accept it. I cannot accept it, because if I accept it, I'm not going to push for physio. I'm going to give up on his progress. You know. And then I read another book, and and
It's gonna
that
be
book
3 hours, baby.
and that book was actually even more traumatizing. And it was about, again, true story about some now woman in her 40s or 50s, and she went through her whole life without knowing she had a cerebral palsy. She was born in whatever 50s, and her parents never told her about. She was slightly on the spectrum of autistic, and she had the cerebral palsy, but her disability was very hidden. She had just slight um, bad movements with the hands, and something with the leg. So she remembered she used to do some physio when she was small, but her parents never actually accepted it. They were just pushing her, and they were comparing her. Look, why you not doing this? Why you not? And I found myself doing the same what her parents were doing to her, and she was blaming them. She was blaming them for not accepting her disability, that it made her life so much more difficult. And and that part, I didn't even finish the book, because I got from that book everything what I needed. That part scared me even more than having a disabled child. It's having disabled child, which when he grows up, he's going to tell you off for not being his support, but being just, for not accepting who he is and making his life more miserable. That was it. like that's the biggest nightmare come true, when your child is tells you, you actually, you made my life miserable, because you cannot accept the reality. So
Wow.
voila.
Wow. Do you remember the titles of those books by any chance? We can
No,
discuss that later. Maybe if,
Yeah,
if you do, we can put that.
we'll text it to you. We'll text it to you.
Yeah, I'll put that in the
I'm sure I've
description.
got it on Kindle
Yeah,
downloaded.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
what was your questions?
So my question, oh yeah, I guess initially the question was, how did you guys manage? I mean, that's a very broad question for a 7 years period, especially with the context you had to face. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't even know what to say. It's so deep what you shared. No, but I really have no idea. And honestly, I guess Thomas, um, I told you that several times, but I absolutely have no idea how it's humanly possible to be as resilient as you were. Because again, that's not something you decided to do. A lot of the time I interview people who decided to go on, I don't know, a very tough race or a challenging change of life. And most of the times it's a very short-term stuff. When you prepare for a race, I mean, yes, you can be training like 12, 14, 16, 30 hours a week, but if it's for one race, or that it's for, I don't know, 10 years in your life because you're going to be an Olympian athlete, and then it's over, that's something. But that's not your case. You did not decide, of course, the situation. I mean, the condition of Leo and Raph, and also that's something that you can't really control that much, as you said, Petra. There is a reality, and yes, you fight for it, but there is so much stuff that are not that you cannot control. You can influence, but you cannot control.
Nothing you can control.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
I mean,
the,
I guess there is you. What
the
you guys did, you control what you control. You change what you control, which is yourself and your perception, the way you want to behave. But that's the part that is super impressive to me, and I guess that's gonna be super impressive for a lot of people. Like, how did you manage to go through all of that, come out better people, better parents, in spite of all the changes? It's honestly, it's fucking inspiring. It's insane.
You-
there was not really many options, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's your point of view, you know.
I mean, what are you gonna do? What like you gonna just give up? You don't have you give up and you run away? What do you do? No, you just
Mm,
it's your family. You stick to it.
well, I don't know. It's not like you never thought about it. I certainly did. I certainly like there
Yeah,
were.
but there's a difference between thinking and doing. It's just not who we are.
Yeah, it's true because I had a meeting with friends with from after 25 years from school meeting, and there was one guy and he asked.
Well, yeah. Well, how is your life? And then you just unload on him.
No, 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 he knew they knew from Facebook, but I was saying, I was just like, oh, it's horrible, and basically I didn't want this, and I was very negative about everything. And he says, so all right, so why don't you, so what would you like? I don't want kids like this. And so, well, so give them adoption. So what? But no, so you see, so you don't really want it, do you?
Mm.
You whinging, but when it comes down to it, you cannot, can you? Even though it was horrible and tough and they were nasty, but still, like, no,
But
it's not who you are.
you know you've compared many times, and I've said this before, but the level of what you can handle, you always think, oh, this is awful, and then something more and worse comes up, and you can handle it, and basically you don't know what you can handle
Mm,
until it happens to you and you just handle it.
yeah.
And that's the thing, you when your child has got a stomach bug, when he's got like 41 temperature, you panicking, and you go hospital, and that's awful, and I don't want anyone to do that. It's awful, but to you, that's the worst that happened to you and your child. But maybe tomorrow, God forbid, it does
Something.
happen to a lot of parents out there. We know even the worst. That's the thing. Like we've got it pretty easy now. It
No.
wasn't it wasn't hard, but we didn't have. It wasn't hard. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't as hard as it could have been. Like our neighbors from the hospital, they had to have heart surgery at 2 weeks old. They were 1 kilo. Not even that. They were 600 grams.
Mm.
And there is, yeah. You just look at it and just think, do you know what? We're gonna be okay.
Yeah, when it's just the
Perspective.
physiotherapy puts you in the perspective. You see cases which are, there is one case
Vegetable, Loic. I don't
with
even
the tracheostomies and the
know.
epilepsies, and and I'm saying, Jesus, I'm happy. I'm happy
Yeah,
we've got it
yeah.
so easy.
Yeah. I mean, still, guys, before we move on to the next topic, to me, you are unsung heroes of, like, true inspiring parents that everyone should know the story about, because yes, of course, there is always someone who's having a toughest time than you, but and maybe I'm biased because I know you, but when you have people like you in your circle, I mean, again, honestly, it really pushes you to just, go through any sort of challenge and shut your mouth and move on because, yeah, because you guys set the example. So
Thank you.
I don't think I ever told you that live. So that's the opportunity now. But
We're
yeah.
sharing today, Loic. We're sharing.
Yeah. But moving on. So, you guys said that today you have a sort of routine. There is a lot of sports involved in that. What is the situation for the kids? In which like sections they are at school? What do they do in terms of activities? Because they seem pretty active.
They are
Extremely active.
extremely active. So they have 2 sessions a week of physiotherapy, which is neurological physiotherapy. In France, it's not just massage physiotherapy; it's actually active, so that's very good. They have ergotherapy, which is I don't know in English.
Soft motoric skills.
Yeah, soft motoric skill.
So
Once
what's
a
what's the difference between the two, between
It's
physio
like
and?
just to handle
It's
stuff with the
writing for
hands,
school.
Okay.
yeah, and stuff to do with the everyday lives. So the physiotherapy is more walking,
Okay.
and the rest is about how to eat nicely, how to write if you can write, and stuff
Okay.
like that. They also go to ecotherapy, which is
Wo-
basically physiotherapy on a horse with on the horses with um, a sort of the psychologist, to be honest. She's interacting with kids and animals to help them open up and discover themselves. So it's a bit of both physical and psychological. They go judo,
Nice.
so that's lovely,
Once a week.
and they're doing very well. It's everything is on the floor on the knees, but they're doing very well, and they're so happy.
And they
Um,
love it.
they're well integrated in the club. Like the first time was a little bit like, oh, what those kids doing here? But now every parent is coming to me like, wow, this is so nice. I'm sorry I felt that way at the beginning, but now I can see like it's so good and it's even good for my kids. So
You were
very happy.
being judged because Leo is moving only on. So Rafael can walk, but Leo is only on his fours, and it's not even proper force how you imagine. It's basically,
It's a frog leap on your knees.
yeah, it's a kind of shuffling, and
Yeah.
he's obviously very disabled, and you are being judged. Like, what you doing?
But that's okay
That's
because
I
then they
mean,
it's the first impression and
yeah.
then they come along and they're very good.
Yeah, and then they find out, well, wow, like they at the end of the year they said, wow, this was such a good decision, like we can see the amount of progress boys did in
Yeah.
this 2 semesters.
So that's the
So
physical part. They also go swimming. We're trying
swimming.
to do swimming, but in the winter with the sickness, we letting go a little bit. But they do try to swim.
No.
They're not there yet, but with the floaters, they're very good. Raph can almost swim without.
Mm.
And then we do try to do physiotherapy ourselves. When we go shopping, we take the two walkers in a shop, and it's like a whole mission, to be honest.
Mm.
It's like we've got a little train of two trolleys and two kids with the walkers. So that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. We do have some splints to put at home and standers at home to help to put Leo standing up.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
intense. It's
at
intense.
school, they're on the first year of primary school, and they are way ahead. I mean, so many parents say this, but listen, they're 7 years old. They can multiply, they can divide, they can do the cube of so many numbers up to, I think, cube of 9, I think they go up to. They see shape in space and multiplication in
They
space.
gifted in
They've
math.
got a brain. They're learning to do the Rubik's cube. Uh, it's just like, I think the fact that we speak 3 languages at home help to wire the brain in some different way, to be honest. I really do think they've got a different brain. And also maybe the fact that there is a part of the brain scarred or damaged. I don't know if it's damaged, but there
Yeah.
was hemorrhage, so there might be a scar on it. maybe other part of the brain develop, which is why they like this.
Yeah.
Um, they're not speaking perfectly in any of the three languages,
Mm.
but they speak three languages.
They understand languages.
I remember some instances where they would start a sentence in like French, put some English, and then some words
Slovak.
I Slovak, and I'm like, wow, what is that? I don't understand. And
Yeah,
then
that's
yeah, but what you said also, I think you sent some video, but years ago. So you were still in the UK, where you would
mm,
ask them like 24 times I don't know 12 or something, and
Yeah.
they would answer, and I was like, holy shit, let me check that. And
yeah,
I would need to take my iPhone and open the calculator app. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow,
mm,
he's right. And it took him like 5 seconds. So
yeah,
that
Yeah.
was absolutely
Yeah,
yeah,
impressive.
they're very intelligent. They learn alphabet spelling from YouTube. They learn everything by themselves from YouTube. The addition, they knew multiplication before addition. They learn the tables, and it's just okay. Like
But so they did that on their own.
yeah,
yeah,
Because I thought it was you guys with
no
with the
no no no
casino
no
background where you have to do math,
no no no
like
no no.
a
we
lot.
That was
we
YouTube.
we actually bought them a calculator because they were always asking, and sometimes you just say, well, just take the calculator and you find out for yourself. And so many times when we're doing physio, one kid is doing physio and the other one is on his little tablet and is doing math calculation,
Sudoku.
yeah, or sudoku,
Wow.
or like yeah, no,
uh,
it's good,
Wow.
and they well liked at school.
oh, they
that
yeah, they
that's
love.
that's very impressive. They go a little committee of a welcome committee every morning where one kid take the bags, one kid take Leo and pushes him, and no, it's lovely.
So Leo goes to school with the wheelchair,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Raf with the
walking normally, nothing,
nothing.
nothing.
Wow.
nothing.
Okay.
It's got splints,
Yeah.
so that keeps his ankle at a 90-degree approximately. So he's not tiptoeing, which is the first sign of cerebral palsy when they tiptoe. So he's walking much better with the splints.
Yeah, he's more stable.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So they can actually do they have like I don't know what's the term, but people supporting them, I mean helping them at school,
Yeah. Leo has one. Yes.
and Raf is on his own the whole day.
The eight.
Yeah, but they're in the
Well,
same
they're
class,
sitting
and
next to each other,
yeah,
Okay.
so
it's they
you don't need so much for Raphael.
rough,
No.
rough unless it's like putting a jacket, putting a shoes,
Yeah, he's pretty good.
he's fine. So the lady, she helps him when
Okay.
even the teacher will help him. To be
Yeah.
fair, like come on.
No, but what I have to say, I'm very impressed in France with the people treating disability. I mean, at school, not in general, because you go shopping and it's completely different story. But how well they were received and accepted, whether it was in maternelle or now in CP, it's you can see it's coming from parents, and the generation is
Oh,
changing.
it's changed. Like I
It's
was so
changed.
afraid of Leo being bullied, and he's like the mascot.
Yeah.
Like the kids, some kids are actually jealous of how popular he is. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
But they're very lovely though. They're very, even when they had the seventh birthday party now, 22nd of December, and we had kids coming over, and there was one like older sister. She was like in Semde or something like
He
that.
was 4 5 years older, yeah.
No,
four
not.
years 4 years
And she said, I love them because they so sweet. They're really cuddling. They're extremely cuddling. They're very affectionate, and they're showing you're getting just good feedback from adults. So it's impossible not to like them. If you've got the child which is polite, they don't shout, they never, you know they never tell you off. Basically, they're nice.
That's amazing to hear. What are the because we are slowly getting up to the hour, and I sort of promised you that we won't be as long as the last time. But what would be the, I don't know if there are projects or milestones that are coming ahead that you're really looking forward to. Be it, I don't know, first vacation, not in Slovakia together, for example. I absolutely, I've no idea. But is there
What do
anything
you mean,
coming
as
up
a
that,
family or personal
yeah,
or?
any something that you're really looking forward to?
Well,
We're
listen,
just happy.
we've got plenty of projects, but you didn't want to go over an hour. You're asking wrong person, people.
No,
I've got
but
the.
we what we really need
I'm
is
actually trying to give you some hint. I'm actually trying to have Thomas said that we're gonna do a race with the kids, but I don't think he got it.
she knows that. She knows that.
Wait, no, but the interview.
Yeah,
Huh?
you have to say it
To
in the interview,
interview.
Ah,
so it's public, and then we really have to do
oh
it.
yeah, oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. So it's official. Well, listen, it hit me when I listened the podcast about you and that company with the disabled wheelchair for outdoor,
From
like the
Quebec
sport,
in Canada, yeah.
yeah, the sport one. And I just thought, do you know what? That would be just great to just do a race with you because I know you love those challenges. And he's a 22 kilo kid, so it's gonna be a challenge. Let me tell you. So yeah, no, that's definitely one
That's in
exciting project.
2025.
It's gonna be 2025 probably because I don't know how to do it before. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But doing a race, yeah, the GR20 is not possible, but maybe a simple marathon. A simple marathon, I would be happy.
That's
Well,
cool.
listen, I just recorded an episode with a guy who lost both of his legs and his arm, like the entire arm, at 9 years old. He's now
Oh,
49, and he just brought seven other, do you say amputees?
Yes.
Yeah, on GR20 last summer.
oh wow.
Wow.
So not the whole thing, 4 days,
Yeah.
but the full experience. Like they were carrying like 10,
Wow.
12 and more kilos each with like is double
Mm.
amputees, so amputees. So
Wow.
Wow.
and yeah, sleeping under tents, like the full stuff. So never say never.
Oh, no, no, no. My issue is not the physical part. That's not a problem. I'm up for anything. The issue is you have to handle the kids being painful for the whole
Yeah,
journey.
I see.
Mental part.
Like we live from grandma. It's only 100 miles away. Within 5 minutes, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like it's tough mentally. So marathon 4 hours. The tablet we have to make it in 4 hours, like more than that. You're gonna be running fast. Let me tell you.
Well, we give them a calculator each, and it just okay.
Yeah, a tablet, a calculator, something. No, but definitely, I
Yeah.
really want to do it, and I'm sure we'll get together and see how we can come up with a way to prepare and get to do that. That would be great.
Awesome.
So 2025, Loic and I marathon with the kids, and what's the brand of that?
Uh, is it Crackus? I
It
don't
sounds
remember.
like, yeah,
Carcass, I think. We have
yeah,
to look it up. But
yeah,
I'm sure we can find some alternative from France to
yeah.
limit the like shipping cost and yeah.
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
let's see. Okay, so and so you mentioned family, Thomas, just now. What I mean, how big? And I guess we're gonna close almost on that. But how big was it of a change for you guys to move from an environment in which you were actually on your own, right? No family in the UK to continental Europe. So you're still far from Slovakia, but I would assume it's easier now maybe to go there with a car than before.
Yeah,
And
it's
at
hard to
least
find.
there is part of your family, Thomas, that is very, very close. So this change of environment, like socially speaking, how much of an impact it had on you and on the kids?
It's a nice routine. It's nice to have, the Sunday lunch.
It's there's not one time when we don't go to grandma and we don't appreciate. I've been listening about every Sunday. There was a Sunday, and it's a look. My family is having lunch at grandma. I was listening to that for 9 years, man. No, look, it's Sunday, and now we
No,
we
we
there,
there. No, we there, and we
and it's
appreciate it.
yeah,
No,
and
it's you. family is underrated. Once you don't have it, you miss it,
Yeah.
and we really do appreciate.
You've got cousins which they close and they're not in touch. And it's in any family. It's not just like Thomas family, right? You've got people because you live together, you grow up together, and even on your adulthood you're still together and you don't appreciate it. Us being away from family for 12 and 18 years, my god, there is I'm not going to miss I'm not going to miss Sunday lunch in the grandma. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to be there.
No, but like
And
not
and
not not later than yesterday. My cousin just came to have a little game with the kids on the Wii. Little stuff like that you never do in when we were in UK. So it's stuff you just take for granted.
Yeah.
So now family was a big part.
yeah,
Sunshine, south of France, family.
everything
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
The not working nights,
mm,
massive.
yeah.
There's not one morning when I have a perfect night's sleep and I don't wake up appreciating, oh my god, I'm so happy. That was such a good sleep. I'm just grateful. Like, I wasn't sleeping for 5 years for kids, for all my adulthood, all my jobs were during the nights. So I never actually had a job where I didn't need to work a night shift. So it's just amazing.
Mm,
We eating well, we exercising, it's everything turned completely
mm.
happy ending.
That's amazing. That's incredible to hear. Again, so happy for you guys. And well, I guess that's the perfect conclusion to finish on a super positive note. Would there be any sort of message? I mean, again, that's a broad question, but that you would like to share as your conclusion to this conversation?
I mean, I think conclusion from this interview, or the main reason why we're doing this interview, if there is someone like us who are not surrounded, who are not having support, and who are not surrounded with people in this, with disabilities, parents. It's different to be disabled, and different to be a parent of disabled child. Um, and they want to approach us, or like, we would be. I think this is the point of this interview. Why we're doing it. If someone wants to approach us, we would be happy.
Yeah, it's even if they don't approach us, just share,
Yeah.
just talk and share and accept it. It doesn't mean you give up. Just this is your situation. Make it the best you can, and there is a way. Every situation is different, but there is always a way, and you can always be happy. Like the parents we saw in Slovakia when we go there, I just look at them and I just think, how are they happy? And they are
They are
happy.
happy.
So yes,
I think it's the
that's
the
it.
acceptance. If
Yeah.
you can something feel from those families, it's the love for those kids.
Hmm.
Like you can generally feel that the love of parents for those kids, and yeah, the acceptance, like the extra sweet. I don't know. I think having disabilities giving you even more.
It's bringing out the best out of people,
Yeah,
and we've discussed it before. But the best people and the most mentally tough people, they come from a very tough background,
Yeah.
a very big trauma, something,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Wow. Well, I can't thank you enough, Petra and Thomas, for everything you shared on the podcast. I am absolutely sure that this will be a super inspiring episode for anyone who's going to listen to it, whatever the situation. And I do hope that it will reach some people who, are facing some tough situations, maybe like yours or different, but at least that, especially to those people, it will be, the little spark of energy that is what they need to at least have a better day.
They are not alone.
They are not alone. Yeah.
Yes, they're not alone.
Thank you very much, and I guess, I hope we'll see each other soon enough in for real in Nice
Yeah.
or here if you come here.
All right. Thank you, Loic.
Thank you, Louis.
Thanks for listening to this conversation until the end. If you were inspired by this episode, please share it around you. Also, if you want to contact Thomas and Petra, you can send me an email at hello@lesfrappes.com and I'll put you in touch. Thank you.